As today I want to share a message that might just change the way you look at your daily routine. In our modern world, we often find ourselves endlessly scrolling through feeds, our attention divided among countless distractions. But right now, I invite you to pause, to stop scrolling and open your heart, because God has a message for you. In the constant hum of our digital age, embracing stillness becomes an essential act of spiritual self-care. When we deliberately set aside our devices and immerse ourselves in quiet moments, we open a sacred space where God can speak directly to our hearts. In these pauses from the relentless scroll of notifications and online chatter, there lies a profound opportunity to reconnect with our inner selves and with the divine. Stillness is not merely the absence of noise. It is a purposeful invitation to listen, to truly listen to that gentle guiding voice of God that often gets drowned out by the incessant demands of modern life. In a world where every moment seems occupied by digital distractions, the practice of embracing stillness can feel counterintuitive. Yet, it is precisely in the silent intervals that we begin to perceive the beauty of divine presence. When we take time to step away from the screen, we find that our minds, previously cluttered with endless information, begin to clear. This clarity creates a fertile ground for reflection and for experiencing a deeper connection with God. Without the interference of external noise, our thoughts become more focused, our emotions more balanced, and our spiritual awareness more acute. In these moments of quiet, the simple act of breathing slowly and mindfully can transform into a sacred ritual, reconnecting us with the eternal and the divine. The value of stillness extends beyond mere mental calm. It reaches into the very core of our spiritual existence. In stillness, we encounter the part of ourselves that is untouched by the chaos of the external world, the part that resonates with God's eternal love and wisdom. This inner sanctuary is where answers to our deepest questions reside, and where our true purpose can be discovered. As we nurture this space within us, we begin to understand that true peace is not found in the rapid pace of a digital life, but in the deliberate cultivation of quiet moments that allow us to reflect on who we are and what we are meant to do. Moreover, embracing stillness is a practice that reclaims our time and attention, redirecting it towards what truly matters. It is a conscious decision to prioritize a relationship with God over the trivialities of daily distractions. When we choose to be still, we are saying that our worth is not measured by the number of likes or shares, but by the depth of our spiritual connection and the clarity of our inner vision. This intentional pause becomes a form of resistance against a culture that equates constant connectivity. Instead, it fosters a sense of inner fulfillment, where every quiet moment is an opportunity to encounter God's love, guidance, and healing. In embracing stillness, we also allow ourselves to experience the transformative power of silence. The quiet can become a mirror, reflecting back to us the truths we often overlook in our rush to stay informed and entertained. It is in this reflective state that we can re-examine our lives, letting go of past burdens and welcoming new insights. The simple act of being still paves the way for spiritual renewal and deep personal growth. It reminds us that even in a world filled with distractions, there is always a sanctuary of peace available to those who choose to seek it. Embracing stillness is not merely a retreat from the noise of modern life, but a proactive step towards a more profound, meaningful relationship with God. By intentionally creating moments of quiet, we cultivate an inner space where divine messages can be heard, our hearts can be healed, and our purpose can be renewed. As we learn to value and nurture these moments of stillness, we find that the distractions of the world fade away, revealing a deeper, more enduring connection with the divine. Ultimately, choosing stillness becomes a powerful testimony to the belief that true fulfillment lies not in endless scrolling, but in the quiet, sacred moments when God's voice reaches out to us. In our fast-paced digital age, the incessant scrolling and constant barrage of notifications can drown out the quiet messages that are meant for our soul. Embracing stillness offers a sacred opportunity to pause, breathe, and listen to the gentle whisper of the divine that exists within and around us. When we choose to embrace stillness, we intentionally step away from the chaos and allow our minds to quiet. In those precious moments of silence, the distractions of the online world fall away, leaving space for introspection and a deeper connection with our inner self. This state of calm is not simply about the absence of noise. It is about cultivating a mental sanctuary where our thoughts can settle and our hearts can open to the presence of a higher power. In that sanctuary, we find clarity, peace, and the realization that the true message from God is often heard best when we are still. Simultaneously, prioritizing presence plays a crucial role in our spiritual journey. In an era that glorifies multitasking and constant connectivity, being truly present has become a rare and invaluable gift. Prioritizing presence means more than merely occupying a space. It involves engaging fully with every moment, whether in conversation with a loved one, during a quiet walk in nature, or even in solitary reflection. This complete engagement allows us to savor the beauty of each passing instant and to absorb the lessons and blessings that might otherwise be overlooked. When we fully commit to being present, the urge to check our devices or get lost in a sea of digital distractions diminishes, and we are instead anchored in the reality of life. A reality that is rich with meaning, beauty, and divine guidance. The practices of embracing stillness and prioritizing presence are not isolated. They work hand in hand to reclaim our time and restore balance to our lives. As we step back from the relentless pace of online interactions and immerse ourselves in moments of quiet, we begin to recognize the subtle ways in which God communicates with us. The gentle call we hear in silence is a reminder that the answers we seek are not found on a screen, but in the deep reservoirs of our own hearts. In those moments, the clutter of daily life fades into the background, and the essence of who we are becomes more. Prioritizing presence ensures that we do not let life's most important moments slip by unnoticed. It encourages us to truly experience each interaction, every smile, and each comforting touch as part of a larger divine tapestry. Together, these practices remind us that our digital habits need not dictate the quality of our spiritual lives. By intentionally creating space for spiritual lives, by intentionally creating space for spiritual growth can flourish. The quiet that comes from embracing stillness makes room for reflection, renewal, and a profound sense of inner peace, while the practice of presence enriches our relationships and deepens our understanding of the world around us. This dual commitment to stillness and presence transforms our everyday experience into a more meaningful, purpose-driven journey. When we integrate the practice of embracing stillness with the act of prioritizing presence, we unlock the potential for a transformative spiritual life. These practices not only shield us from the overwhelming clamor of digital distractions, but also open our hearts to the timeless messages of hope, love, and guidance that God offers. By choosing to slow down, be present, and truly listen, we rediscover that the path to inner peace and fulfillment lies in the deliberate, mindful moments that connect us with the divine. Ultimately, the decision to step away from endless scrolling and to immerse ourselves in the quiet beauty of life is an invitation to experience a richer, more vibrant connection with both ourselves and the greater world around us. As in our fast-paced digital age, where the endless scrolling and constant notifications can consume our every moment, there is a profound need to pause, find stillness, and open our hearts to a deeper spiritual experience. The journey begins with the simple act of pausing and reflecting. When we intentionally stop the relentless stream of information and take a moment to breathe, we create a quiet space for introspection. This pause is not a sign of disconnection from the world, but rather a powerful act of self-care that allows us to reset our minds and refocus our energy. In that deliberate moment of stillness, distractions recede, and we begin to notice the subtle, enduring message that God is offering us. A message that might otherwise be lost in the clamor of modern life. This practice of pausing invites us to evaluate our priorities, to let go of unhelpful thoughts, and to rediscover the beauty of being fully present with ourselves and with the divine. Building upon this initial pause, the next step is to embrace stillness. Stillness is more than just silence. It is a conscious state of inner calm that transcends the noise of the external world. When we create moments of quiet in our busy lives, whether through meditation, prayer, or simply enjoying a peaceful walk, we allow our minds to settle and our hearts to open to a deeper connection. This quiet time becomes a sanctuary where the chaotic demands of social media and constant notifications no longer hold sway. In these moments, we can experience a sense of renewal and spiritual clarity that recharges our inner selves. The embrace of stillness helps us to let go of the stress and tension accumulated over time, transforming ordinary minutes into sacred intervals that nurture our souls and fortify our spirit against the pressures of everyday life. Complementing the practices of pausing and embracing stillness is the essential act of opening our hearts. In the midst of our digital, opening our hearts means allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, to accept the full range of emotions, and to trust in the divine guidance that flows through our lives. It involves discarding the protective layers we build up to shield ourselves from pain or disappointment, and instead welcoming love, compassion, and the transformative power of God's message. When our hearts are open, we become receptive not only to divine wisdom, but also to the beauty and interconnectedness of every human experience. This openness fosters authentic relationships, enabling us to connect deeply with others and to see the world with renewed wonder and gratitude. In conclusion, the path to a richer and more meaningful life is paved with the intentional practices of pausing to reflect, embracing stillness, and opening our hearts. These three steps work in harmony to create a powerful counterbalance to the overwhelming pull of endless scrolling and digital distraction. By pausing, we create the space necessary to hear the quiet, persistent call of the divine. By embracing stillness, we find a sanctuary where our inner voice can rise above the noise and guide us towards spiritual clarity. And by opening our hearts, we invite the transformative message of God to infuse our lives with love, purpose and connection. Ultimately, these practices remind us that the true essence of life is not found in the fleeting content of social media, but in the enduring, life-affirming moments when we slow down, listen, and allow ourselves to be transformed by a higher presence. In the midst of our digital age, where notifications and endless scrolling have become the norm, there is an urgent call to break free and reconnect with a deeper, more meaningful existence. The first step on this journey is to pause and reflect. When we deliberately set aside our devices, we create a sacred space for introspection and self-discovery. This pause is not merely about disconnecting from a noisy digital world. It is about reconnecting with our inner selves and the divine presence that often goes unnoticed amid the chaos. In that quiet moment, our thoughts begin to settle, allowing clarity and insight to emerge. We learn to listen to the gentle whispers of our hearts, discerning subtle messages that might be divine in origin. By choosing to pause, we affirm that our well-being and spiritual growth are more valuable than the fleeting distractions of social media. Following the act of pausing, we are invited to embrace stillness. Stillness is more than a lack of noise. It is a conscious state of being that nurtures our soul. In our hurried lives, stillness is a rare gem that we often overlook, yet it holds the power to transform our inner world. When we intentionally create moments of quiet, whether through prayer, meditation, or simply sitting in silence, we allow ourselves to experience peace that transcends everyday worries. In these silent intervals, we let go of stress and anxiety, making room for a deeper connection with God. The calm we find in stillness is not emptiness, but a vibrant space where divine guidance and inner wisdom can flourish. It is in this quiet that we can truly hear God's message, free from the clutter and distractions that usually fill our minds. The third essential element is prioritizing presence. In a society that glorifies constant engagement and multitasking, being fully present has become a rare and transformative practice. Prioritizing presence means investing our attention in the here and now, truly experiencing the richness of each moment rather than being lost in digital reveries. This approach requires us to fully engage in our daily interactions, whether it is a heartfelt conversation with a friend, a serene walk in nature, or even a moment of solitude with our thoughts. When we are present, we tap into the beauty of the world around us and the simple truths that are often hidden behind the facade of virtual interactions. Our senses awaken to the wonder of life, and we become more open to receiving divine inspiration in every detail of our surroundings. The fourth key point is to open our hearts. Opening our hearts is an invitation to embrace vulnerability and authenticity. It is the process of shedding our emotional defenses to allow love, compassion, and spiritual wisdom to flow freely into our lives. In our daily hustle, we sometimes build barriers to protect ourselves from pain or disappointment, but these same barriers can also block the profound messages that God may be offering us. By choosing to open our hearts, we invite transformative experiences that foster healing, and growth. We learn to trust in the goodness around us, and to recognize that every moment, every interaction carries a fragment of divine truth. This openness deepens our relationships with others and with the divine, creating a ripple effect of understanding and compassion. The call to stop scrolling. God has a message for you. serves as a powerful reminder to reclaim our time and attention through the deliberate acts of pausing and reflecting, embracing the transformative power of stillness, prioritizing our presence in the moment, and opening our hearts to genuine connection. We pave the way for a richer, more spiritually fulfilling life. These practices not only help us break free from the endless cycle of digital distraction, but also lead us toward a deeper understanding of our true selves and the divine message waiting to be discovered within us. Ultimately, by choosing to step away from the digital noise and immerse ourselves in meaningful silence and connection, we open the door to a life filled with clarity, purpose, and an enduring sense of peace. As in our hyper-connected world, where every moment is punctuated by the glow of screens and the ceaseless hum of notifications, it becomes essential to reclaim our inner peace and rediscover the divine message hidden beneath the digital noise. The journey begins when we choose to pause and reflect. By deliberately setting aside our devices, we create a quiet space to examine our lives and assess what truly matters. In that pause, we allow our minds to slow down and our hearts to listen. This moment of introspection helps us reconnect with our innermost selves and recognize that the frantic pace of online content is not the measure of our worth or purpose. In those silent moments, we can start to perceive the subtle guidance of God. A message often drowned out by the relentless tide of social media updates. Following this initial pause, the next step is to embrace stillness. In a world that prizes constant engagement, finding moments of true silence is a radical act. Stillness is not merely the absence of sound. It is a deliberate cultivation of inner calm that enables us to step away from the clamor of everyday life. When we immerse ourselves in stillness, whether through prayer, meditation, or simply sitting quietly, we create an environment where our thoughts can settle and our spirits can renew. This quiet space becomes fertile ground for divine inspiration, allowing us to experience the profound peace that comes when we disconnect from external distractions and tune into the gentle whispers of the divine. A further essential element is prioritizing presence. This means being fully engaged in the current moment, rather than being swept away by a stream of digital content. When we are truly present, we savor the richness of life, the warmth of a conversation, the beauty of nature, the comforting embrace of a loved one. This active engagement helps us to break the cycle of superficial digital interactions and immerse ourselves in experiences that nurture our soul. By focusing on the here and now, we not only enhance our appreciation of everyday moments, but also become more receptive to the quiet signs of divine guidance that are woven into the fabric of our daily lives. Equally important is the need to open our hearts. In an era dominated by curated images and fleeting interactions, our hearts often close off as a protective measure. However, true spiritual growth requires vulnerability. Opening our hearts means allowing love, empathy, and compassion to flow unimpeded into our lives. When we let go of the barriers that keep us guarded, we become more attuned to the deeper truths that lie beneath the surface of everyday events. This openness paves the way for genuine connections with ourselves, with others, and with the divine. It is in this state of heartfelt receptivity that we can fully appreciate the transformative power of God's message. The final step in this journey is to reclaim our time from the overwhelming demands of digital distraction. Each minute spent in endless scrolling is a minute that could be devoted to spiritual growth, self-care, or nurturing relationships. By consciously redirecting our focus from screens to the world around us, we reclaim a sense of control over our lives. This reclaimed time becomes a sanctuary where we can engage in meaningful activities, reflect on our experiences, and listen to the enduring wisdom of the divine. It is through this deliberate act of taking back our time that we empower ourselves to live more purposefully and align our daily actions with our deepest values. In conclusion, the path to discovering God's message lies in a series of deliberate transformative steps, pausing to reflect, embracing the profound gift of stillness, prioritizing genuine presence, opening our hearts to vulnerability and connection, and reclaiming our time from the digital frenzy. Together, these practices enable us to cut through the noise and rediscover the quiet, enduring voice of the divine. As we step away from the relentless scroll and immerse ourselves in moments of meaningful silence, we invite clarity, purpose, and spiritual renewal into our lives, ultimately realizing that the most profound messages often come in the gentle hush of a quiet heart. In the midst of our hyperconnected digital world, it is essential to reconnect with the divine message that calls us to slow down, listen, and embrace a life of purpose. Often, the endless scrolling and constant notifications can drown out the subtle whispers of our inner spirit, leaving us disconnected from the deeper truths that truly matter. The first step in reclaiming our spiritual space is to pause and reflect. By intentionally setting aside our devices, even for just a few moments each day, we create a sacred space for introspection. In these quiet intervals, the clamor of external noise subsides, allowing us to listen to our inner voice and rediscover the values that anchor our souls. This simple act of pausing becomes a powerful reminder that our worth is defined not by digital affirmations, but by our capacity to engage deeply with life and faith. Building on this foundation, the next key point is to embrace stillness. In a culture that equates busyness with success, finding moments of genuine silence is both revolutionary and restorative. Stillness invites us to let go of the chaos and clear the clutter in our minds, opening up space for spiritual renewal. Whether achieved through quiet prayer, meditation, or simply a mindful walk in nature, embracing stillness enables us to experience inner calm and clarity. This state of tranquility allows us to discern the gentle guidance of the divine as the persistent hum of our everyday distractions fades into the background, leaving room for insight and peace. Another vital aspect is prioritizing presence. When we immerse ourselves fully in the here and now, we replace the superficial allure of digital engagement with the richness of real-life experiences. Prioritizing presence means savoring the moment. A conversation with a friend, the taste of a home-cooked meal, or the beauty of a sunset, and allowing ourselves to be fully absorbed in the experience. This mindful engagement deepens our connection with the world around us and helps us to cultivate gratitude and wonder. In doing so, we learn that the true essence of life is experienced not through a screen, but through meaningful, heartfelt interaction with our surroundings. Equally important is the call to open our hearts. In a time when our emotions are often guarded against the vulnerability of true connection, opening our hearts is an act of courage and faith. To open one's heart is to allow love, compassion, and empathy to flow freely, dissolving the barriers that keep us isolated. This openness creates a fertile environment for divine messages to enter our lives. Whether through acts of kindness, unexpected insights, or the support of loved ones. By welcoming vulnerability, we become receptive to the deeper truths and gentle nudges that guide us along our spiritual journey. Another key point is the need to reclaim our time. Every minute spent in mindless scrolling is a minute that could be devoted to nurturing our relationships, our creativity or our spiritual well-being. Reclaiming our time involves making a conscious choice to invest in activities that enrich our lives, such as engaging in meaningful hobbies, spending quality moments with family and friends, or simply resting in quiet contemplation. This deliberate act of reclaiming time empowers us to live intentionally and to align our daily actions with our deepest values and aspirations. Finally, it is crucial to trust in divine guidance. When we relinquish the need to control every moment and instead lean into the wisdom of a higher power, we discover that life unfolds with remarkable precision and grace. Trusting divine guidance means believing that every pause, every moment of stillness, every act of presence, every open heart, and every reclaimed minute is part of a greater, benevolent plan. It is through this trust that we find the courage to let go of distractions and to embrace a path filled with purpose and spiritual fulfillment. By pausing and reflecting, embracing stillness, prioritizing presence, opening our hearts, reclaiming our time, and trusting divine guidance, we create a life that is both meaningful and deeply connected to a higher purpose. As we step away from the endless digital scroll and into the sanctuary of our inner selves, we open our lives to the transformative message that God offers, a message of peace, love, and enduring purpose. As in our modern society, the constant barrage of digital content can leave us feeling disconnected from our inner selves and the divine presence that guides us. Instead of succumbing to endless scrolling, we are invited to reorient our lives around 7 key principles that can transform our digital habits into opportunities for spiritual growth and personal fulfillment. The first principle is to pause and reflect. Taking a moment away from the screen is a deliberate act of creating space in our busy lives. In these quiet pauses, we clear our minds of clutter and begin to listen to the subtle insights that might otherwise be drowned out by the noise of social media. It is in these reflective moments that we rediscover our inner voice and gain clarity about what truly matters. The second key point is to embrace stillness. Stillness is not merely the absence of sound or activity. It is a conscious state of calm that invites spiritual renewal. In our everyday rush, moments of genuine quiet can feel like rare treasures. By seeking stillness, whether through meditation, a quiet walk, or simply sitting silently in nature, we create an inner sanctuary where divine wisdom can be heard more clearly. This calmness becomes a powerful antidote to the stress and anxiety that often accompany a hyper-connected lifestyle, allowing us to tune into a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The third essential principle is to prioritize presence. Being fully present means engaging with each moment wholeheartedly instead of allowing our thoughts to be continuously pulled into the digital ether. When we immerse ourselves in the here and now, we savor life's simple joys, the warmth of sunlight, a heartfelt conversation, or the delicate beauty of a blooming flower. This practice of presence nurtures gratitude and helps us appreciate the richness of our experiences, reminding us that the most valuable moments are lived in real time, not through a screen. A fourth key point is to open our hearts. In a culture that often emphasizes self-protection, choosing to open our hearts is an act of vulnerability that paves the way for deeper connection. When we let down our guard and allow ourselves to experience genuine emotions, we invite love, compassion, and spiritual growth into our lives. An open heart not only enriches our personal relationships, but also makes us more receptive to the subtle signs of divine guidance that can lead us toward inner peace. The fifth principle is to reclaim our time. Time is our most precious resource, and every minute spent mindlessly scrolling is a minute lost from opportunities that could nourish our soul. By consciously choosing to invest our time in activities that uplift us, whether it's spending quality moments with loved ones, engaging in creative pursuits, or deepening our spiritual practices, we regain control over our lives. This intentional reclaiming of time realigns our priorities and ensures that our daily actions reflect our deepest values. The sixth key point is to trust in divine guidance. Surrendering the illusion of complete control and opening ourselves to a higher purpose allows us to see our lives unfold with meaningful synchronicity. Trusting in divine guidance means believing that every pause, every moment of stillness, and every mindful decision is part of a larger benevolent plan that supports our journey, even when the path forward is unclear. Finally, the seventh principle is to actively seek spiritual connection. This goes beyond occasional moments of reflection. It means deliberately cultivating practices such as prayer, meditation, or reading sacred texts that draw us closer to the divine. By seeking this connection, we create channels for receiving the insights and guidance that help us navigate our lives with clarity and purpose. Integrating these 7 principles, pausing to reflect, embracing stillness, prioritizing presence, opening our hearts, reclaiming our time, trusting divine guidance, and actively seeking spiritual connection transforms the way we engage with our world. Instead of being trapped in a cycle of endless scrolling, we open ourselves to a richer, more fulfilling experience where every moment is infused with divine purpose. This shift allows us to rediscover balance